This happened about 10 years ago when I had just started working as a paramedic after medical school. The job was tough. Long shifts, small pay, and hellish work. But that's beside the point. In my short time there, I saw it all. One old lady called an ambulance because she believed demons were stealing her medication. Another was tormented by demons emerging from her ceiling. At first, such cases surprised me, but you quickly get used to it. You're so tired that whether it's demons or something else otherworldly hardly matters. But there's one case I remember perfectly, like a vivid image. I don't know why, but every time I recall it, I feel deeply uncomfortable, even scared. It was autumn, raining almost all day, damp and smelling of decay. Around 8 p.m., we got a call. A 53-year-old man feeling unwell. No details. We had to respond. My colleague was Dr. Victor, a stereotypical doctor with gray hair, sharp eyes, and a neat beard. Always serious and alert, not a fan of jokes, but excellent at his job. By the evening, we were pretty worn out, but still holding up. The night was ahead, the most intense time. The call seemed routine. We arrived at the address, a typical 4-story building. Most windows were lit, people back from work. Wet leaves tumbled in the weakening rain. It was chilly. On the second floor, I carried a medical kit. Dr. Victor rang the doorbell. A short woman opened the door, her face a mix of anxiety, despair, and fear. My heart sank. This call wouldn't be as straightforward as we thought.
Come in, he's in the kitchen.
The apartment was normal, well-kept and bright. Attractive wallpaper, seemingly new furniture. But the atmosphere felt heavy, unpleasant. I couldn't understand why. It was one of those feelings when you simply don't like a place. That's exactly how it felt here. Directly opposite the entrance was a room. To the right, the kitchen. There sat a man, burly, with a short buzz cut, stern face, and a strong chin, which trembled slightly. He held an empty mug, his hands also shaking. He stared fixedly, his eyes like those of a man who just escaped a fire. His wife explained. I listened and began to feel uneasy myself. His name was Walter, a firefighter, didn't drink or smoke. The previous day, he returned from a 24-hour shift, everything normal. Ate, showered, went to rest. His wife left for work. When she came back, she found him like this, in the kitchen, eyes wild. He didn't want to talk about what happened, but eventually confessed something so strange that his wife had to ask several times.
I woke up, watched TV, relaxed. I went to the bedroom, and on the bed, there was a terrifying black figure giving birth.
Of course, the wife found nothing in the bedroom except an unmade bed. But for the first time, she saw her husband genuinely scared. She called the ambulance. What else could she do? Dr. Victor sighed. He asked Walter, "Is that all true?" Walter nodded. I stood silent, honestly not knowing what to do in such cases. Dr. Victor checked Walter's blood pressure, inquired about his health. Everything was perfect, never sicker than a common cold.
All right,
Said Dr. Victor.
let's take a look.
Walter clearly didn't want to, but agreed, probably hoping that the bedroom was now empty. We approached the bedroom door. Dr. Victor entered first, followed by Walter. I heard a muffled groan.
It's still there, just sitting. Damn it, what is this?
Walter retreated from the bedroom, shaking all over. His face flushed, sweat on his forehead. Dr. Victor gestured for me to come in. I entered, feeling scared. What if I actually saw it? I entered, feeling scared. What if I actually saw it? But no, just a messy bed. Nothing else. Yet, the room felt heavy. I could barely hear a faint hum. Dr. Victor looked at me worriedly. He didn't know what to do either, but seemed to also feel the pressure and heavy atmosphere. He shook his head as if to dispel a delusion. Then things happened very quickly. Walter decided to enter the bedroom again. He looked at the bed and I could see he wasn't lying. He saw something because his gaze couldn't lie.
God, what is this? It's...
His voice trembled, but he tried to compose himself.
I don't know, don't understand. It's terrifying.
His face contorted in horror. He covered his mouth with a hand, tears starting to flow.
It's turning! My God, it sees me!
He covered his mouth with a hand, tears starting to flow.
It's turning! My God, it sees me!
Walter turned abruptly and ran away, so fast we couldn't react. The door slammed shut as he dashed out in his home clothes, even without shoes. I ran after him, but he was gone from the stairwell. Outside, our driver, Ethan, said a man had fled the building and vanished into the darkness. I was speechless. Back in the apartment, his wife was crying. Dr. Victor tried to comfort her but shrugged helplessly. He glanced one last time at the bed, said, "Let's go." His eyes filled with worry and fear. In the car, we sat in silence. Dr. Victor fiddled with his pen. He asked,
What did you see?
"Nothing, but it felt wrong." Dr. Victor sighed and adjusted his glasses. Then he said something unexpected.
I felt it too. And when we left, did you see the large mirror on the wardrobe in the bedroom? It reflected the bed. I caught a glimpse of a dark silhouette on the bed in the reflection. I didn't look again. Better not to know if it was just my imagination.
I could say I didn't sleep well after that, but that's not true. You crash hard after a shift. But to this day, I remember his words. A terrifying black figure is giving birth on the bed. And it still terrifies me. Sadly, we never found out what happened to Walter afterward. He might have really needed help then, but there was no one to give it.